Shalom family. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushai. Ba'Shem Wakar All praises due. Peace and blessings to the Father of lights. Peace and power to Yahushai. And peace and power to the throne of King David. Peace and blessings to you out there edifying. Alright. The last video I did, prophetess versus princess. Told y'all that video I wasn't gonna bonk you in the head, and I didn't. I'm not gonna bonk you this time either. All right, I ain't gonna bonk it, bonk back. I'm not gonna bonk you in the head this time either. Not that way. I'm gonna bonk you in the head though. All right. Now, this video is going to be put in a question form. That way I'm not beating up on anybody, all right? So, I'm going to read y'all a story, all right? Now, I've done this story before, but I feel it's time to do it again. It's a beautiful story, man. It's a beautiful story, and whenever I read it, I always get something different out of it. All right, so y'all just sit and be entertained. All right, ladies, fellas, y'all sit back. All right, y'all done got y'all grits and eggs. All right, y'all got the war scrolls, y'all got the priest, the temple, the gold streets, everything. Got to do something for the Aquas. All right, got to do something for them. It's story time. Y'all just listen good, all right? Like I said, I've read this before, but it's on my spirit. I didn't meditate on this, and this is what I got, all right? Even read the story again myself to make sure is where I wanted to go, and it is, all right? We're going to go to first, second. All right, we're going to go to First Samuel 25. It's about Abigail. All right, Abigail. Verse 2. You know what? No, let me give my give Prophet Samuel his just due. 2 Samuel 1:25. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. All right. Verse 2. And there was a man in Maon, whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now, the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. Now, the name Nabal means fool. That's what it means in Hebrew. Abigail means my father's joy. So, Abigail was with a fool. Her husband was a fool. And she was a woman of good understanding and a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings. And he was of the house of Caleb. Now, the word Caleb means dog. Okay? That's what it means in Hebrew, dog. So she was a fool that was from the dog house. Verse 4. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto those young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him, that liveth in prosperity, Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thy house, and peace be unto all that you have. See, David had manners, right? He properly greeted him, right? Verse 7. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers, now thy shepherds, which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. He said, we took care of your men. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to your hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. He even referred to Nabal as a father figure, right? And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David and ceased. Meaning, they told him what David said and they were waiting for his reply. Verse 10. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants now a days that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those things. They went back to David and told him what he said. David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. Verse 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on him. He was talking shit. Verse 15. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields. They were a wall unto us, both by night and day. All the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. Now, therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master, and against all his household. For such is a person of Belial, that a man cannot speak to him. So, Nabal was an ignorant, hard-headed motherfucker. That's what it means, churlish. He just didn't care. And now he got all their life in danger. David was finna come, all right? And they was gonna get that judgment, okay? Now, look what Abigail did. Verse 18. Then Abigail made haste. That means she was rushing. She's like, oh shit. And took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine. Now this Nabal shit. She didn't ask. She's like, fuck that. Nigga coming to kill everybody. Abigail made haste, took 200 loaves of bread, 2 bottles of wine, 5 sheep ready dressed. I mean, they was already dead, cut up, and ready for that fire. And 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on the asses, the donkeys. And she said unto her servants, go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. She's like, I can't tell this nigga because he dumb enough to try to stop me. She did all this on her own, man. She's like, look, ladies, you got to know when you got a fool for a husband. You got to know, right? This nigga will get you killed, all right? Let's check it out. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met him. So she was riding. Man, I got to get to this nigga before he get to this farm and we get fucked up. All right? Now, David has said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow have in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained to him. And he have requited me evil for good. So and more also did the power unto the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertained to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall. Yeah, it say pisseth. That mean he wasn't gonna kill the women, but all the men, even the ones that he protected, they was gonna get that blade. Right? Abigail knew it. David was already known for murking motherfuckers anyway. Right? Verse 23. And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass and fell down before David on her face. So she jumped off the ass like poof. She bowed herself to the ground. That's submission. Submission. Now, she submitted to him. Imagine me reading this story to some of these damaged, toxic ass women nowadays. That was a long time ago. I ain't bowing down to no motherfucking body. Yeah, well, yeah, we got some. Might have some in here, but let me keep reading. She fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground and fell at his feet and said, upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be. And let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thy audience and hear the words of thy handmaid. She said, please. She petitioned him. She didn't talk out of turn, man. She didn't talk out of turn. She was like, I ain't finna start loading you down, man. You know, can I just talk to you? Will you hear me out? She asking for permission to speak. All right? She don't want to offer nothing up to him without first asking. All right? Now, verse 25. Let not, my Lord, I pray thee. She referred to him as my Lord. That's what the women did back then because they knew how important a man was. See, back then, a woman without a man, it was a death sentence. They had robbers, rapists, all kind of stuff. There was no police. Wasn't no 911 back then. A man was their protection. Why do you think she had a husband named Nabal and she stayed with him even though he was a fucking idiot? Because at least having a man is no better than no man at all. At least she had provision and protection. See what I'm saying? See, these women nowadays, they got that through the police and the government. But when the Most High torched this motherfucker, there ain't gonna be none of that. Ain't gonna be no police. Ain't gonna be no 911. Your ass gonna be out there and you're gonna need protection. You're gonna need a man. So, 3,000 years ago, these women knew that. That's why they fall on their face and they worship the man for the position that he was in. Provider and protector, overseer. Okay, got it? All right. Verse 25. Let not, my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial. Now, she talked about her husband. She said he is a man of Belial, even Nabal. For as his name is, so is he. She know the name Nabal means fool. Nabal is his name and folly is with him. She basically telling him, look, I married a fucking idiot, all right? But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young men of whom, my Lord, thou didst sin. Now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord have withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thy own hand, now let thy enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. So she's saying, look, just hold up for a minute. Just hear me out. All right? She said, she basically telling them, if I would have known that those men had came back with that, I would have fixed y'all something and sent it without telling his ass. But it got past me. So I'm down here now. All right? And she's telling him to hold off going to kill his ass. Verse 27. And now this blessing which thy handmaid hath brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. She said, here, it's enough for you and your whole army, okay? I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid. She's taking it all on herself. She said, look, forgetting the ball, all right? I'm taking this on myself. I'm taking responsibility for this, all right? I'm just saying, can you just blame me and allow me to apologize and make amends for his dumb ass? She like, please. She said, look, take the bread and the raisins. Look at verse 28. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of the Lord, and evil have not been found in thee all thy days. So she already knew David. She knew who he was, she knew what he was about, and she knew he was going to be king. Now, Nabal dumbass should have known that, but go figure. 29. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee and to seek thy soul, but the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with the Lord thy power. And the souls of thy enemies, them shall he sling out, as out of the middle of a sling. All right? Look at verse 29, New Living Translation. Even when you are chased by those who seek to kill you, your life is safe in the care of your Lord, your power, secure in his treasure pouch. But the lives of your enemies will disappear like stones shot from a sling. She said, I know the stories of how Saul was hunting you. Everybody knows. And how you evaded capture, all right, for 20 years. I know about you going to King Achish. She knew about all of that, all right? She knew about all of that. And still, all right, she's saying that you can't do this. She's trying to deter him from making a mistake, all right? Verse 30. And it shall come to pass when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel. She already knew he was going to be king. Verse 31. That this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord have avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thy handmaid. Look what she's saying. Look at verse 31, New Living Translation. Don't let this be a blemish on your record. Then your conscience won't have to bear the staggering burden of needless bloodshed and vengeance. And when the Lord has done these great things for you, please remember me, your servant. She putting a bid in for herself. She like, look, Most High is going to deal with you. He's going to deal wonderfully with you. All I'm asking is when you get that, all right? When you get that, I want you to remember me. That's all she said. Verse 33. Salak, verse 32. And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be your advice, and blessed be you, which have kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. For in every deed as the Lord power of Israel liveth, which have kept me back from hurting thee, except thou hast hasted and come to meet me. Surely there had not been left unto the ball by morning light any man that pisseth against the wall. Only men piss against the wall. He said, if you wouldn't have got here, I was going to kill everybody in there. He said, I thank the Most High that you were able to come and talk to me and, give me a change of mind. Verse 35, so David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to thy house. See, I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. And it came to pass about 10 days after that, the Lord smote Nabal, and he died. Nigga had a stroke. She told him how close he came to getting his damn head cut off. That's why he was celebrating. He was like, oh, he didn't come and kill me. Yeah. She like, no, he didn't come and kill you because I stopped him. He didn't like that shit. Nigga had a stroke. Verse 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be the Lord. He's like, good. Blessed be the Lord that have pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal and have kept his servant from evil. For the Lord have returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head, and David sent a commune with Abigail to take him to wife. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David, send us unto thee to take thee to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth, and said, behold, let thy handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of the Lord. Humble. You know, their feet got dirty back then, man, because they was always in the dirt, walking through mud with sheep and horse shit and all that. They feet had to get washed. Verse 42. And Abigail hasted and arose and rode upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her. And she went after the messengers of David and became his wife. Now look what she did. Look what she did. Once he made the call, the servants came, she packed up, took off, all right? With the 5 damsels, those were Nabal's wives too. Now, was she like, you bitches ain't coming with me. I'm gonna be with the king. Nah, she didn't do that. She brought them all with her. All right, verse 43. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. Now, Ahinoam, let me look that up real quick. All right. Ahinoam means my brother is delight. Wife of David, mother of Amnon and Jezreelitis. All right. So, verse 44 and last. But Saul had given Michal, his daughter, David's wife, to Phalti, the son of Laius, which was of Gallim. So, when David ran from Saul to get away from his ass, he was married to Saul's daughter, Michal. Saul took Michal and gave her to somebody else. So now David had more wives now. All right. What I want to hit on is the character of Abigail. She was humble, submissive, and she was wise. And when she went to David, she didn't go to him in her feelings. All right. She went to him and explained everything clearly and concisely. And she had his well-being in mind when she did it. She said, if you do this, your record is going to be tarnished. All right. Imagine what people are going to say when they find out you murdered Nabal because he wouldn't give you no food. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's fucked up, but it's not a capital offense. David was in his feelings, all right? And she had to get to him to talk him out of being in his feelings. David is impulsive, all right? He wasn't thinking. His anger took over, and it was about to get him in trouble. Yeah, he'd have slaughtered Nabal and everybody in there, but then David would have been a murderer, right? Most High didn't tell him to do that. He could have easily just went on, but his pride was hurt and he was pissed off. He like, I didn't hook this nigga up, watched all this shit, and he gonna, stiff me like that. Fuck that nigga. I'm gonna get him. But, like, nah, she said, don't do that. Because it's gonna make you look real bad. And then what type of king will you be when people remember? David's our king, the one that killed Nabal? See, she had all of that down. And not only did she humble herself, look what she did. She packed up the food, everything, nice and tight, and hasted out and got it out to him. All right. She did that not for Nabal. She did that for David. She said, he gonna be king one day and I don't want him messing up. So all she thought about was him. She was selfless. All right. She brought her handmaids with her when it was time to go. You know what I mean? So these are just some points that I want y'all to be aware of, you ladies. What type of character do you have? See, when you read about Proverbs 31 and a virtuous woman, that's what it's talking about. All right. And she lived it. She had that glow about her. The scriptures, you know, do her a lot of justice because it tells of what she did and how deeply she cared for a man that she didn't even really know, but she knew that the Lord was with him. So she knew how important he was. And here's the thing. She was like this before he was king. All right. She was like this before he was king. See? In this day and age, what's wrong in the dating scene right now, especially with so-called black folks, is our women don't want a man that's on his way up. They want a man that's already made. They want a man that's already, you know, got the bag. See? And that's why they're losing out to a lot of these goddamn white girls. Because, see, Becky Beckenridge, she'll take a nigga working at Wendy's or Taco Bell. But he got a plan and he on his way up. Then 10 years later, he done made something out of himself and he's sitting there with Becky. And these women mad as fuck. Well, they don't never choose us. No, you don't choose them. You want a nigga that's already made. See, women, y'all born beautiful, pretty hair, pretty skin and all that, right? Y'all values right there. A man gotta make himself valuable through his hard work and how he lives and how he represents himself and what he accomplishes in life. That's what makes him valuable. All these brothers in the brotherhood right now. No, ain't none of us, like I said, we broke kings. We broke, all right? But we ain't gonna be that way all the time. See? That's why it's good to get you a king now that ain't got shit. We got kings working at Circle K, mailmen, all kind of shit, garbage men like me, all right? But guess what? We ain't gonna always be that. See? Abigail was able to see the value in David before he was king. And she supported him. She said, I know you're gonna be, I know the Most High gonna bless you. And she said, just remember me. She didn't chop him down. Nigga, you ain't shit. You ain't finna be, you know how y'all do it. You ain't finna be no motherfucking king. And then when he made king, oh, I was immature at that age. No, motherfucker, you just rude, nappy head heifer. See, so these are some points that I want y'all to take in. All right, some points I want y'all to take in. See, Abigail had it locked down, and guess what? He remembered her too. She said, King, when you get there, just remember me. She didn't say marry me. She said, just remember me. Stop by, something. Just remember me. That's all I want. Shit. Remember? Girl, I'm going to make you mine. That's what he did. See, when you submit yourself under the Most High, all right, great things happen to you. But when you're selfish, self-centered, stingy, and motherfucking hard-headed, you get just that. And the Most High, he loves a woman like Abigail, man. There won't be nothing she can't get. Nothing. So y'all think about that. All you women out there that are asking yourself, what can I do, you know, for the kingdom? What can I? Have that Abigail spirit. That's all you got to do. Have that Abigail spirit. Get out your ass. Get out your feelings. Right? Think about somebody else. Think about your sisters. Think about your husband that you ain't got yet. All right? If he ain't where you know he can be, speak life into him. That's what you do. All right? That's what you do. Okay? So, I'm glad to say that I have that at home. All right? I got that. I got that support, and I got all of that. All right? So I'm happy to say that. All praises. Right? But you know, my wife take good care of me. She does. And that's what a man need. All right. So when we cross over, I just expect even more good things to come. All right. So you ladies out there, I pray that this video was to your liking, and I pray you get something out of it. All right. And I told you that this video is in question form. All I want to ask you is it in you? All right. This your King and Shepherd KD. Barakatah to the Father of lights, peace and power to the throne of King David, and peace and blessing to Yahweh Shai. All right. I'll see y'all on the next go round. KD out. Shalom.